Welcome to Mary McCorvey Experience Over Expectations podcast, which you can find on YouTube, Substack, and any place you find your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe today.
Hello, I'm Mary McCorvey. Welcome to Experience Over Expectation, where we encourage you to let go of the plan and live on your terms. On today's program, I'm so pleased to welcome Theresa Hummel-Krallinger, or Theresa H.K. as she's been known on stage for 23 years. We'll get to that in a minute. Theresa is the two-time Emmy-winning author of Make Waves, a career pathing guide to stand out, stay employable, and sail ahead. She is the president and chief people officer at High Five Performance, Inc., creating places where people want to work and the leaders they want to work for. Here in Philadelphia, Theresa is the university professor as well as the founder and facilitator of Meet the Author at the prestigious Pyramid Club. Now entering its 12th year. Yes, hard to believe, I know, Theresa. It was voted number 4 on Philadelphia's Business Journal's Best Networking Association list. Welcome, Theresa. We're glad to have you on the program.
Mary, I'm delighted to join you.
Well, thanks so much. Thank you. And I was mentioning that beautiful picture behind you, the bit that I know about you, it characterizes who you really are. You're just
Colorful.
wonderful, colorful, bright, and inspiring.
Thank
So,
you. And I could say the same for you, Mary. I'm so delighted that we were introduced and got to know each other.
yeah, so am I. So am I. So, what inspired you to write Make Waves?
Well, it's interesting. I'm not a career coach, so you would think that would be what would inspire me to write it as a career coach. But back in 2003, I started a job search group because there were a lot of people out of work at that time. And I felt bad because in the United States, we often identify ourselves with our job, right? And we very often ask, Mary, tell me about you. What do you do?
What do
That's
you
the
do?
first question. What do you do? And in that year, people would break eye contact and say, well, I'm in between jobs, or well, I just lost my job, or well, I'm in transit. And I thought, wow, we need to provide support for folks that are in that place and help them get to the next place of employment. So since 2003, I have been helping job seekers and really curating content to help job seekers for over 2 decades. And to the point where I said, this really needs to be put in a book. And that's what inspired me to write Make Waves. I keep meeting smart, capable people who suddenly find themselves employed and they have no idea what to do next. And the purpose of this book is to provide one comfort, validation, and direction for people who want to be employed. Yeah.
Yes, well, that's what you do during the weekday. And you also have a weekend job. Tell us about that.
So my weekend job, all it started back in 2003. This was, I'm telling you,
It was a
2002,
banner year for
2003
you.
was a pivotal year. There was a course offered at Montgomery County Community College, Introduction to Stand-Up Comedy. And I thought, well, I don't want to be a comic because that would be ridiculous. I don't think that would ever really happen. But boy, I'd like to take that class to learn comedic techniques and to learn ways to build humor into my training and speaking because that's how I was making my money. So I took an 8-week course. It was $89. The course started with 20 people and we had 9 graduate. So we had 11 people drop out by the end of 8 weeks. And you're familiar with this, Mary, because you've had a graduation show.
Yes, I have.
We had a graduation show with the 9 graduating comics, and we invited our friends and family. We had over 200 people in the audience, and I couldn't believe that people actually laughed at my little 5 to 7 minute set. So then I took an advanced comedy class, which essentially is just writing more stuff. Got myself up to enough time where I could be an MC for shows, and I have been performing on stage and getting paid for it ever since. So $89 well invested.
Indeed, and lots of laughs. I have had the privilege of being at your shows, and you are indeed very funny on
Thank
stage.
you. Thank you.
What,
It's a joy.
well, you can tell.
Yeah,
You can
it's
tell it's a joy for you. And I do want to ask you, people really are intrigued by comics, and they want to know what really inspires you in a particular direction. So your comedy is very fun. It's very family friendly, and you play at or you perform at a lot of different types of venues. What
yes.
really inspires you to go into a particular direction in a piece that you do and perform?
It, it's things that happen in everyday life. And so, like, you and I will be having a conversation. Maybe we're out to lunch or we're taking a walk, and the two of us start laughing at something in conversation. And I think to myself, that's a bit. That could be a bit,
Right.
you know? So, for instance, when I was a kid, everybody was wearing Bass shoes. I don't know, but they still sell Bass shoes. There are still Bass outlet stores, and but there were these thick-soled Bass shoes, and I really, really wanted them. And my mom couldn't afford to pay the premium price for Bass shoes. So, but at Kenny Shoes in the mall, they had a knockoff. It was called Gas, Gass. So, and on the sole of the shoe, it had the word gas, Gass. So when I walked in the snow, I left gas. When I walked in the dirt, I left gas. When I kneeled at mass, everyone saw gas. But do you see how, like, that is a real thing that happened,
Mhm.
but how ridiculous that is. It is
That's
ridiculous. True story. I was wearing gas shoes. Thank you, Mom. So that's the inspiration comes from like real life stuff that happens. I talk about going to the Quakertown Farmers Market. If anybody's been to the Quakertown Farmers Market, they know that is a place to find humor. There's a lot of humor there, right?
Mhm.
Amish towns,
Right.
funny, right? Frankly, working in an office, funny. Like there's just so much about life that is ridiculous.
Yes, there
We can
really
poke
is.
fun at it. So I guess I must be an observational comic. So I just kind of look around and see what's funny and weave it in.
Fantastic. And how do you bring that talent into the corporate world?
I can't help but bring it with me. You know,
Oh, I know.
I
You
often
do
tell
carry it
people,
everywhere.
I tell people we don't park our soul at the door when we come to work. We don't park our soul at the door. And I think humor is part of my DNA. Like I can't say, well, now I'm not funny because I just walked in the doors of this corporation. Now, certainly that corporation may not be funny at all. There may be no laughter there, but I'm not leaving my humor at the door. And a lot of it comes about just on the fly. We'll be in the classroom and somebody will ask a question and we'll start to go down a path and there's just something funny to say.
Mhm.
And we laugh. So a lot of what I do isn't planned. It's kind of on the fly. But I'm blessed that because of that comedy class, it almost it helps you build a muscle that you don't use often. And you know this
Exactly.
too. Like I think we all have funny in us, but if you don't use it, that muscle's weak. But if
Hmm.
you use it, that muscle's strong, and then you tend to see the humor more often. So, yes, so I weave it into I think it is, I know it is a reason why I get work in a corporate setting.
Hmm.
Uh, There's a lot of boring ass trainers. Can I say boring ass? There's a lot of
You
boring ass
can.
trainers. And And it actually makes my life a lot easier because of that, because I'm not boring, and we have a good time in the classroom. And we have for years. Oh my gosh, I got started in training. I don't even want to tell you. And you had a dear friend that I looked up to as a mentor, and Karen. And
Mhm.
she got started even before me. 1987, I got started in training. And yeah, and I've been at it and enjoying it and making them laugh ever since.
Fantastic. Well, tell us about your boat model. Why did you choose a boat as a metaphor?
So back in the day, and this is early 2000s, and I was running job search groups, and I created a short program to deliver myself. And when I looked at what it takes to build your career, there's really four facets of it. One is just having good direction, like knowing what it is you want to be when you grow up. And some of us are figuring it out in our 60s and 70s, right? But what is it you want to be when you grow up? So that's the rudder of the boat. And the next thing is being really good at something, having skills and experience that you can actually carry out tasks and implement things and solve problems. So that's actually the hull of the boat, right? That's the
Hmm.
body of your boat. Then it helps to have sails, right? And the sails, when there's wind, man, the sails will take you. Those sails are your reputation, your credibility, your personal brand. Are you published? Do you have any degrees or designations? Do you have certifications? Your personal brand, your reputation, third party validations, those are your sales. And
Hmm.
they're important, especially if you want to be a doctor, right?
Sure.
Gotta have big sales to be a doctor. Right? My favorite part of the boat, if there is a favorite part, because I love them all, is the motor. And the motor helps you even when there's no wind, right? You can have
Hmm.
two master's degrees and all the skill in the world, but if there's no wind, and like right now, job market, there's no wind, Mayor.
Really?
It is, yeah, it's a dip for sure. But if
Mhm.
you have a motor, that's your professional network. These are people who know you, know you're good at what you do, and can connect you to other people and to opportunities. So if you're smart, you will manage all four parts of your boat. You'll be clear about what it is you're meant to do. You'll always be building skills and knowledge, right? Keeping yourself up to date. Your sales will be whatever is appropriate for what you need to have,
Mhm.
and you're going to be working your network forever, forever. That's the boat. That's where the boat came from. I was able to align those four facets to how a boat is.
And that's how the book is structured.
It is. It is. And I'll
Yeah.
ask people now, draw your boat. Where
Right.
you are now, draw your boat. And some people are a raft, right?
Hmm.
Like they're like, I don't even know what I want to be. I'm just working to take a job. I don't have any sales yet, and I don't have a motor, but I'm working on it.
And it's okay to be there.
It is. I was a raft. I was a raft.
Sure, we all were.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
eventually started to figure things out. When I worked for Prudential, I was a raft. I took it because it was a job. And once I got into Prudential, as a raft, you just float wherever the water takes you, right?
Hmm.
So they're like, you're going to work here. I'm like, okay. And now you're going to do this. Okay. So you just like go where the water takes you. But it's almost like having a buffet. You're sampling things.
Hmm.
I like that. I want
Hmm.
more of that. Oh, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. So
Hmm.
they would have me do training new people. All right, there's some new people coming in. You're going to train them.
Hmm.
I love doing this. That was my raft phase where but you know what I didn't like? I didn't like doing complex data reports with numbers that involved a lot of detail. Did not like that. To this day, do not
Didn't
like
work for you.
no. So it's important, but yeah, I was definitely a raft at Prue, my early years. But
Yeah, so as a 7X founder myself, 7-time founder, I've been on more rafts. Every time I create something, um, it's a new raft.
yep,
And I love the model that you have of the sailboat, including the motor.
yes,
And it's just it's very, very easy to tap into and understand where you are in the process and what strengths you have
yes,
and where you need to shore up.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
what are the biggest mistakes that people make?
Oh, there's a few. I think the number one mistake people make is becoming complacent.
Mm,
You get a job. I got to tell you, so, and you'll appreciate this because it's very relevant right now. My friends that worked for the government, right? When you get a government job, you get a government job and you stay forever and then
mhm.
because you're not going any like, well, I have a lot of people with government jobs that are out of work,
Right.
right? They didn't
Right.
expect it. They weren't planning for it because why would they? And they're like in the desert looking for a cup of water. Like, you're like, what do you do? So,
Right.
and that's not to bash them, but it's to say none of us can become complacent. None
Hmm.
of us can be so comfortable that we don't manage our network well, that we don't keep our skills up to date, that we don't continuously learn and grow and all that. I think that's number one. That's a big mistake people make.
Hmm.
The other is kind of over, it's more of a financial aspect. I've seen people who they get to a certain level and they're making great money and they overextend. They've got the house, they've got the shore house, they've got the boat, they've got the two kids getting ready to go to college, they've got the two cars, but they're really nice cars, and then they lose their job.
Hmm.
You want to make sure that you always have some kind of financial cushion. Not that
Right.
you're planning for it to happen, not that you hope it will happen, but when it does happen, if you're overextended, you're
Hmm.
crushed. You're crushed. So those are two things that I see people do, and it hurts my heart. But never be complacent.
And never overextend.
Never overextend. You know, it's funny. In my career has been very good to me, and I still live in a half a twin little tiny house in North Wales that has been paid for many, many years. But you know what? If I stop getting work, which won't happen, knock on wood, I'm okay. I got savings, right?
Hmm.
I've like, and I live so well within my means.
Hmm.
You know,
There's a lot to be said for that.
there is,
Yeah.
there is.
So, what does the book say about staying ahead in the fast evolving and unpredictable job market, especially right now? It's crazy town.
It is crazy town, and for sure, it's a crazy town. I would say one, your network is super important. So you don't want to ask for help only when you need it, right?
Mhm.
You want to be maintaining relationships along the way. So I think being able to help people first to maintain the relationships. How can I help you? Because what happens is when you lose the job, now you're very needy. Like I said, you're in the desert looking for a cup of water. But I think if you manage your network well and you are a giver, there was a book that inspired me. Bob Berg wrote a book called The Go Giver. I don't know if you're familiar with The Go Giver, but the Go Givers, it's just who they are. And
Mhm.
because of it, you're planting seeds, you're spreading a net for yourself. So I think definitely working your network. Think about the people who know and love you and see the skills you bring. Reach out to them,
Mhm.
reach out to them and see how you can help them and let them know how they can help you. But I definitely think your network is key in this crazy market.
Mhm.
Not a lot of jobs are posted. There are jobs out there, but you might not see them. The
Mhm.
only way you're going to find out about them is through people. So,
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I love what you're saying about the go-givers, because I know that you were one of those people. And thank you on behalf of all of the many people that you help. And saying that you go about this process as a normal course of, we
yes,
can call it doing business, we can call it being human, we can call it, networking, we can call it personal relationships. Okay. But if you attend to those like a garden,
yes,
and so when you are when you're hungry and you need help and you need sustenance, you can go to that garden and there will
yes,
be fruit and vegetables. And that's
yes.
we're
There's
just
your there's your book, Mary. There's
as
a book
always,
on
nothing
on
but
tend your
all
garden.
metaphors today.
Yes, tend your garden. But it's true. Like I really haven't had to knock on every wood that I can find here.
Right.
I haven't had to, but I know for a fact that if I post out there to say, hey, I'm looking for some new business and here's some things I have, there would be people who are like, oh my gosh, she has been so
Yes.
helpful. And two, she's good at what she does. I'd be willing to put my name out there to help
Right.
her. So yeah, that go-giver model is foundational. It's
Hmm.
super helpful. And I know my introvert friends, when they hear the word networking, they cringe a little bit. I get that. But
Hmm.
networking is really about building relationships. It's not this schmoozy, shallow, fake, needy thing. It's about helping people who want to help you.
Hmm.
Who
And
doesn't want that?
there are ways that introverted people can help in
Yes,
with methods that are convenient, not convenient, but comfortable for them.
sure.
Right? I
Yes,
have introverted people who want to help me, and it's up to me to say, okay, how would he or she feel comfortable? What can they do for me if I'm in need? What can they do for me that they would feel comfortable with?
yeah,
So it's an interesting dynamic for people that are not um, are not extroverted.
yeah,
But
yeah.
some of my favorite people, I have favorite people that are extroverted, introverted. I just love people.
Yes, I do too. I do too.
And I think that, figuring out how to make it easy for someone to help you has always been really useful for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's flip the coin here. And how about on the corporate side? So you're in the corporation and you've got top talent that you really want to retain. You want to keep these people on board.
Yes.
How do you go about doing that? And what advice does the book give people?
Yeah. So career pathing is a big topic,
Hmm.
particularly because, 20, 30 years ago, you would get a job and stay for life. That is
Hmm.
not how it is now. It is just kind of a given that you are going to be here for a short while and you're going to move on. So companies that are really big proponents of professional development and
Hmm.
are willing to help pay for courses that are in alignment with where you want to go. And despite their size, like some companies are big, there's lots of places you could go. Prudential, there's lots of places I could have gone there. Then there's
Right.
companies that might only have, 50, 100, 200 people. It's hard to create a career path within the company, but doing their best to say, here's transferable skills that you have and here's what it looks like in these other areas. Mentor programs are
Hmm.
helpful because it helps to expose people to different areas. One, just letting people know that they want them to stay.
Hmm.
Sometimes companies, but you know how I picture the executive team, they're in like their little huddle and they're like, who are our top people? Well, our top people, I think Mary McCorvey's a good one. Oh, she's wonderful. And we write, you know who else is? Theresa H.K. Oh, love her. But they never tell us. They
Right.
never tell us. So you and I are going along our day, just wondering and hoping. And if an opportunity comes along, we might take it. But
Hmm.
if the organization says, we want you to know, when we look at Who is our top talent? Your name came up. Say
There's so
it.
much to be said for that.
Yes.
And it's free.
It is free. So are you going to be the next president? I don't think so.
Oh.
But let's manage expectations. But I want you to know your brand is strong
Yeah.
and you are well respected here. And even though there's no opportunity for promotion at this moment, you're on the radar as someone who is really well revered here. Just
Mhm.
share the message. I
Mhm.
can't tell you the number of organizations that do not share that message. It's
Right.
like that, you have like a succession planning meeting in a little conference room and all this stuff is discussed and then you file it away and move on with your lives. No.
Right.
So I
Right.
get passionate about it because I know how much it means when people are told.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you talked about being on a raft and building from being on a raft.
Yes.
Tell us a story about when you made waves.
Oh my gosh, there's a couple. When I jumped out of corporate and started my own company,
Mm-hmm.
that was huge. So I had a nice ride at Prudential, and I still am so grateful for everything I learned there, and also for my husband that I met there. So
Mm-hmm.
it was good networking and a great skill builder, and I'm proud of the time that I spent there. But there were reorganizations. So as part of a reorganization, I moved on, and I had a choice: do I go get a job in another company?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I start my own thing? And I
Mm-hmm.
decided I'm going to start my own thing. I had a financial cushion. I had a circle of friends that were on their own to help me, and I did it. But I'll tell you that you know this. You've done it 7 times. It's a daunting thing to start your own company.
Yes,
And
it is.
oh my gosh, I remember my dad saying, "Teresa, where are you going to go?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, where am I going to go?" "Well, you're going to get another job. Where are you going to work?" I said, "Well, I'm going to have my own company." And he goes, "I don't, well, it wasn't on his radar." And he
Right.
was worried. He's like, "Oh my God, what about her health benefits?" And he was genuinely worried. And then when I was making money, fortunately, within a year of going out on my own, he's like, "Look at my daughter. She has a
Mm-hmm.
real company. She's
Right.
making money."
Making waves everywhere. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if
So
somebody feels stuck in their career, what advice does the book give to them?
there's a couple things. One, I always start with your rudder. If you're feeling stuck, what is it that you really should be doing that
Mm-hmm.
would give you joy, and there's a model, Ikigai is in the book. What is it gives you joy? What are you naturally good at? What does the world need?
Mm-hmm.
And what will people pay you for?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those are the 4 things. You want to find that sweet spot. Some people struggle with what gives them joy. I ask,
Right.
what gives you joy? And I gotta be honest, Mary, they're like, I don't know. I have to think about that.
Right.
Now, if you ask me that question, there's not enough paper in the world for me to write. And this gives me joy, and hanging out with Mary and doing
Yeah.
comedy. But
Yeah.
some people really need to ponder that. So really identifying, what does good look like for you? Sometimes people have an easier time defining what not good looks like. Well, I can tell you it's not this. It's
Right.
not this place. But really getting in touch with what good looks like, understanding yourself. And then once you have a sense of what gives you joy and you're naturally good at, then get out there and explore. What kind of jobs are out there for that? Who employs people who bring that? What do they get paid? What's the market outlook for that
Mm-hmm.
type of work? So I would start there. Start with yourself. Go within. What gives you joy?
What a great way to end the podcast.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you
how
so
fast
much,
was that?
Teresa. I know it went by in a flash.
It
So,
did.
so tell me, Teresa, or tell our audience how to get in touch with you and more about your book, when it's coming out, how to get it.
Yes. So I love for people to connect with me on LinkedIn. So reach out to connect on LinkedIn, but let me know where you saw me. So, you were on Mary's podcast, and because if you're an axe murderer, I'm not accepting you. It's okay if you're a stranger, but I got to make sure you got to be vetted first. So connect on LinkedIn and we can chat from there. The book comes out in September. I am going to tell you this. I am so proud. I actually uploaded the manuscript to Amazon this morning.
Congratulations.
It was like, send, and the wheel was spinning. I'm like,
oh, that's so exciting.
Years of work. So the book will be out in September. My sense is it should be on sale sometime between the first and second week of September, which is good. And then on September 25th, I have a book launch at the Pyramid Club in Philadelphia. So that will be
Wonderful.
cool.
For those of us that are in Philadelphia, we will
Yes.
definitely be there.
Yes.
And I will be one of them.
I know. And I'm excited. I'll have a lot of really lovely friends and family there, so it'll be cool.
That's great. Well, thank you again, Theresa, for being on our program.
Okay.
I'm Mary McCorvey. This is Experience Over Expectation. And in shameless self-promotion, I have a book coming out later in September called Experience Over Expectation. Let go of the plan. Live on your terms. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you again soon.
You've been listening to Mary McCorvey's Experience Over Expectations podcast. Be sure to subscribe today on YouTube and Substack, or listen wherever you find your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.